What if the hardest things in your life weren't random? What if your soul chose them before you were even born? In this video, we'll explore an ancient blueprint hidden across lifetimes that may change how you see every struggle, every relationship, even your own name. And by the end, you might finally remember why you're really here. Life is not a straight line. It moves in spirals. You've been here before, and you'll come again, not as punishment, but because your soul is still learning. The ancients knew this. In Hinduism and Buddhism, they called it samsara, the wheel of birth, death, and rebirth. In this cycle, the soul repeats lessons until they are truly understood, until wisdom replaces reaction, until love overcomes fear. This isn't a belief, it's a structure echoed across cultures and ages. Philosopher Alan Watts once said, "Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth." The soul, too, cannot fully understand itself in the formless. It must take on form, human, fragile, beautiful, to remember who it really is. Each life, then, becomes a mirror, sometimes cracked, sometimes clear, but always revealing another aspect of the self. Modern science, too, gives us glimpses. According to psychiatrist Dr. Brian Weiss, who documented thousands of past life regressions in his book, Many Lives, Many Masters. Patients often recall detailed memories of lives they couldn't have known. Languages, cultures, events beyond their current timeline. These were not dreams. They were patterns. But why do patterns repeat? Because we haven't seen the full picture. Because reaction still rules over reflection. Because karma, the energy of unresolved action, still ripples through our timeline. And so the soul returns to heal, to re-choose, to evolve. Yet not all repetitions are regressions. Some are rehearsals. The universe, in its deep mercy, always offers us another chance. And if this is true, if your soul came here on purpose, then the next question is clear. What happened before you were born? Who planned this life? And why did you choose the exact path you're walking now? Let's turn the page to where it all began. If your soul returns for a reason, then there must be a reason it chose this particular life, not just the country or family, but the very circumstances you call your story. Before incarnation, your soul entered a space often called the interlife, a realm described in both Eastern and Western mystical texts, as well as clinical studies like those of Dr. Michael Newton in Journey of Souls. His patients, under deep hypnosis, described vivid memories of reviewing past lives and selecting future ones, choosing lessons, relationships, even body types to match specific soul goals. In the interlife, some describe entering vast halls of light where scrolls of memory are unrolled and reviewed. Others speak of spiritual counsels, wise, benevolent guides who assist the soul in crafting the next chapter. You don't choose ease, you choose what will stretch you into more. A soul may request poverty to learn simplicity, betrayal to awaken boundaries, illness to deepen compassion. These are not punishments, they are pathways. Why would anyone choose pain? Because growth demands friction. Just like coal must endure pressure to become a diamond, the soul selects experiences that will crack open its deepest wisdom. Who does the choosing? You do, not the you of memory or ego, but the you that existed before time, the one that still remembers why you came. You chose your greatest trials with the hope that they would become your greatest teachers. The process is not punishment, it's design. A sacred contract with existence itself. And this plan is not rigid. The blueprint is written in light, not stone. Free will remains. You can alter your path at any moment, but knowing the plan helps you align with it. As author Robert Schwartz writes in Your Soul's Plan is not about predicting the future, it's about empowering your present. This is the cosmic blueprint, a template hidden in pain, encoded in memory, and waiting to be remembered. And once you remember, you reclaim your power. But how does this blueprint unfold? What forces shape the actual terrain of your life, moment by moment? The answer lies in the invisible balance between action and consequence, a law older than time itself. If your life is a map, then karma is the landscape, and free will is the compass. Together, they shape the terrain beneath every step you take. But most people misunderstand karma. It's not punishment. It's not reward. It is the law of energy and consequence. As the ancient sage Patanjali wrote, when you are inspired by some great purpose, dormant forces come alive. Karma is that force. Every action, every thought, every emotion carries a vibration that echoes forward through time. So why does karma matter? Because it connects moments you can't see, past, present, and future, as one continuum. That pain you feel may not come from this life. That fear you carry may not be yours alone. According to psychiatrist Ian Stevenson, over 10,500 documented cases of children recalling past lives revealed not only emotional residues, but physical birthmarks and phobias linked to deaths in previous incarnations. These patterns aren't accidents. They're echoes. But here's the miracle. You are never bound by karma. You are simply shown what still needs to be understood. Karma is not a cage, it's a mirror. And mirrors don't punish, they reflect. You can shift karma instantly by choosing differently, consciously, with compassion. Who holds this power? You do. Your choices are creative forces. When you react with fear, old cycles continue. But when you choose love, forgiveness, or courage, you shatter the repetition. Free will is the sacred tool that allows you to rewrite destiny. How does this work moment by moment? The law is simple. What you send returns. The vibration you carry becomes the experience you attract. And that's not spiritual fantasy, it's physics. According to the HeartMath Institute, the electromagnetic field of the heart changes based on emotion, influencing the energy field around you in measurable ways. Karma and free will are not opposites. They are dance partners, one setting the rhythm, the other choosing the next step. And every conscious step brings you closer to alignment. But what is this earth where such a sacred dance unfolds? Why would the soul choose to descend into such density? The answer lies in the nature of this planet and what makes it the ultimate spiritual training ground. Why would a soul, vast and luminous, choose to come here, into a world of gravity, conflict, and forgetting? Because Earth is unlike any other classroom. It is dense, dualistic, and demanding, but precisely because of that, it offers something the spirit realm cannot: contrast. Here, joy is meaningful because sorrow exists. Courage is real because fear lives next door. Love becomes holy because it must pass through the fire of loss. This is not theory. It is the architecture of growth. As spiritual teacher Ram Dass once said, "We're all just walking each other home, and Earth is the place where that walk becomes sacred. In higher dimensions, the soul may know everything, but here it must embody it. That embodiment, turning truth into action, is what makes Earth the most intense and valuable dimension for soul evolution." When does the soul decide to come here? When it's ready to learn through limitation, ready to transform theory into lived truth. Some souls even volunteer to incarnate during difficult eras, not for karma, but for service. As Dolores Cannon's regression research suggests, many souls on Earth today came to anchor light and assist in collective awakening. How does Earth teach? Through polarity. Every experience is a choice point. React or respond, close or open, fear or love. The pressure of this density refines the soul like fire refines gold. Philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin wrote, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." And Earth is where that paradox becomes real. Where does growth happen? In everyday life, in traffic, in heartbreak, in illness, in forgiveness. The soul doesn't just evolve in temples or mountaintop meditations. It evolves in kitchens, on hospital beds, in boardrooms and battlefields. Earth is not a mistake. It's a masterpiece of sacred challenge. And so the question is not, why am I here? But rather, what am I here to master? But in order to master anything, you must first remember who you are. Yet most souls forget their plan entirely upon arrival. Why would that be? Let's step into the veil. If you chose this life, then why don't you remember choosing it? Why is the plan hidden? The answer lies in a sacred mechanism known as the veil. Upon birth, the soul passes through a field of forgetting, not as punishment, but as an act of divine precision. To make the experience real, you must forget that it is a lesson. Mystical traditions across cultures speak of this veil. In Kabbalah, it is called the klipot, shells that obscure divine light. In Vedic teachings, it's Maya, illusion that conceals true essence. In Plato's philosophy, the soul forgets all truths upon entering the body. The purpose is always the same: authenticity. If you remembered everything, would your choices mean anything? The soul agrees to forget so that each step becomes genuine. To choose kindness when you've forgotten your divine nature, that is power. To awaken compassion through suffering, that is transcendence. According to hypnotherapist Dolores Cannon, many souls under regression describe the fog they pass through before entering the physical body. A fog that erases memory but not wisdom. So how do we remember? Through resonance. Through moments of déjà vu, soul recognition, sudden tears without logic. Through dreams that echo ancient truths. Through synchronicities that defy randomness. The veil is not impenetrable. It is thin. And every act of inner work, meditation, reflection, shadow healing, makes it thinner. Who remembers first? Often the ones who suffer most, because pain cracks the ego, and through the cracks, light gets in. As poet Rumi wrote, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Where is the veil? Right here, between thoughts, between lifetimes, between the breath you hold and the one you release. You've felt it, when your heart knows something your mind can't explain. That is the memory trying to return. But once memory returns, so does responsibility. If you begin to remember why you came, what will you do with that knowing? Perhaps the answer lies in the people around you. Because no soul journeys alone. Let's look next at the soul agreements you made long before your first cry. If your life is a map, then the people within it are the landmarks. They are not random, they are chosen. Long before birth, your soul entered into sacred agreements, contracts made in love, not control, with parents, lovers, friends, even enemies. Each one agreed to play a role that would help you awaken. What are soul agreements? They are spiritual contracts, mutual understandings made between souls in the inner life, designed to catalyze growth, healing, and remembrance. According to pre-birth planning researcher Robert Schwartz, many people under deep regression recall sitting with soul groups, assigning roles, planning key meetings, and even rehearsing life scenarios to ensure the highest potential for awakening. Why would you choose a parent who abandons you, a partner who betrays you, a child who challenges you beyond measure? Because the soul sees the lesson, not the pain. It sees the potential for forgiveness, boundary, empathy, or strength. The contract is not about suffering, it's about self-mastery. Who are these people? Soulmates, karmic partners, twin flames, teachers in disguise. Some uplift, some challenge, but all reflect something within you. And even those who bring pain are fulfilling a role your soul once requested. Dolores Cannon often said, "Sometimes the biggest villains in our lives are the greatest teachers in disguise." How do these agreements unfold? through synchronicity, through unexplainable magnetism or repulsion, through the uncanny sense of knowing someone you've just met. These connections are designed to trigger remembrance, and each one is a mirror showing you your wounds, your growth, your truth. Where do these contracts play out? Everywhere. In families, marriages, friendships, breakups, and even brief encounters that alter your path forever. Every meaningful connection carries a purpose, and the more conscious you become, the more clearly you see the hidden agreements beneath the surface. But remember, contracts are not cages. Free will remains. If a relationship becomes destructive beyond its intended lesson, you can walk away, lovingly, consciously, and still honor the agreement. Because the highest contract of all is the one you hold with your own soul. And once you've fulfilled these sacred encounters, once the roles have been played and the mirrors understood, the soul begins to ask the final question. Must I return again? Or is it time to finally go home? What happens when the soul has learned enough? When the lessons are no longer repeating, the karma resolved, the contracts complete? Then comes liberation. Not an escape from life, but a return to truth. A state known as moksha in Hinduism, nirvana in Buddhism, or simply home. Why does liberation matter? Because it marks the completion of a vast curriculum. The soul is no longer bound by karmic necessity. It incarnates only by choice, often to teach, guide, or uplift. Enlightened beings like the Buddha, Christ, or Krishna are examples of souls who returned out of compassion, not obligation. What does liberation feel like? It is the end of seeking, the quiet knowing that nothing is missing, that you are already one with Source. It is not a destination. It is a vibration, a way of being that transcends fear, separation, and ego. Who reaches this state? Any soul can. There is no gatekeeper, only resonance. And the more you release attachment, embody love, and remember your essence, the closer you come. As Lao Tzu wrote, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." How does one arrive there? Slowly, through lifetimes of choosing higher frequencies over lower ones, through practicing forgiveness, humility, compassion, stillness, through recognizing that even your shadow is part of the divine dance. When does liberation occur? Not when you become perfect, but when you become whole. When all aspects of self are welcomed, witnessed, and reintegrated into light. Where does the soul go after liberation? It may return as a guide, a teacher, or remain in higher realms. Some choose to merge with the Source entirely. Others become what Eastern traditions call bodhisattvas, beings who delay a final union to assist others in awakening. Liberation is not a final breath, it is a final realization. And when it arrives, the soul is free, free to serve, to create, or simply to rest. So now we return to the question that opened this journey. What if you chose this life? And if that's true, what will you choose next? The book is still open, and your soul is still writing. Soda. Why did your soul choose this life? Maybe not to escape suffering, but to learn how to love through it. The book is still open, and the next page is yours to write.